Hey, this is Brooke Crater, founder of Experts and Empires, and today what I want to talk to you about are two totally avoidable common mistakes entrepreneurs make when they set their prices. And this is coming up because with my one-on-one clients, we're taking a look at their pricing strategy for 2013, and two things are happening. Number one, they're very tempted to take a look at their competition. And so they look around and say, well, I better be $10 less an hour, or I better be $10 less a widget, or whatever that might be. So number one, that's a huge mistake entrepreneurs make, is to price themselves based on their competition. Number two is to price yourself based on the market or the economy. So we all get this fear that runs through us like, well, I better slash my prices because nobody's going to buy at that level. Everybody's tightening up their purse strings. But here's the deal. When you underprice yourself, a lot of really crappy things happen in your business. Number one, it negatively impacts your bottom line. Big surprise, right? You already know that. Number two is it can put the perception in your ideal client's mind that you're cheap. And who wants to be known as cheap? Seriously. So you need to think about, if you're going to slash your prices, what does that do to the overall image of your company? Number three, when you underprice yourself, it is very difficult to make that difference up in volume. So I'm not telling you can't choose that road, but I'm telling you it's a tough road to hoe if that's the direction you go. And number four, your ideal client, the perfect person for you to buy from you, will buy from you based on value instead of price. Okay, so if you're nodding your head and you're like, yeah, Brooke, I'm guilty of all these, I make these mistakes, what do? I want to give you four things to consider. So grab your pen and paper, here we go. Number one, when you're setting your pricing, I want you to know your business goals. Is your goal to maximize market share? Okay, well, if it is, then your pricing strategy is going to be a little bit different than if you're going to be a boutique-y, right? The other thing is are you somebody who just wants to make enough to stay at home with your kids? Are you somebody who's building an empire? All of that is going to factor into how you set your prices. So number one is know your goals. Number two, and this is important, know your customers. Are they price sensitive? Are they convenience centered? Are they status driven? I'm a hugely convenience centered consumer. So if you can make my life easier or something in my business go easier, I'm all about paying more money for that, right? So understand, if your customers are price sensitive, then yeah, your pricing strategy is going to be different than somebody who's status driven. Number three, know your costs. If you get nothing else out of this video, it's so important that you understand and include your overhead in those numbers. So many entrepreneurs just run around and do all these great things and slap a price on it, and they have no idea what it even costs them, right? So my fabulous little equation to get started is know your costs plus your profit margin, create a space in your pricing for value, okay? So cost plus profit margin plus value equals your price. Don't skip that value piece. And number four, and this is equally important, offer multiple price points, because the deal is, and we all know it to be true, not everybody is your high-end client. I wish they were, but they're not. So when you take a look at your sales funnel, have different prices or entry points where somebody can engage with you. So it doesn't always have to be the $5,000, the $50,000, whatever it is, the high deal. Give them other opportunities to engage and buy from you. So if you are taking a hard look at your prices for next year, there's a book I'd recommend for you. It's called The No BS Price Strategy, and it's written by Dan Kennedy. He is brilliant. There's tons of wisdoms in there. My two favorites is number one, be reassuringly expensive and does not feel good. And number two is to break your addiction to negotiation. So I would love to hear what you're doing for next year. Like, how are you tweaking your prices? How do you even set your prices? Like, what comes into play for you? Leave your comments below. I will definitely watch that section. I enjoyed our time together today. Hope you did too. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.